Hello, my unconventional conventionalists. Welcome to another installment of Bad Girls Rants. Now, your queen's personal life has been a bit of a roller coaster as of late. Starting the hormones therapy, I was up, and then something happened in the middle that brought me down, but then Crybaby Tour brought me back up. So what was down here? I was fired from one of my burlesque troupes on a false accusation. Now, I'm not going to use individual names, nor will I go into precise detail, but I have been shown an excessive amount of disrespect, and I am not happy with it. This all started with one particular coworker of mine. We were both booked for the same gig, and thus it was an opportunity for us to talk and really get to know each other for the first time. Well, this coworker told me a lot of details about her personal life and asked that I keep it a secret, to which I agreed. A few weeks later, I asked them about it, and they told me to give them privacy and not talk about it with them again. I was a little irritated with that, but I agreed and gave them the privacy. Well, supposedly not too long after that, somebody else figured out what was going on and told one particular person that wasn't supposed to know what was going on, and then chaos ensued. And then this particular coworker became my primary accuser because I knew the secret, therefore they assumed that I did the crime, that I told the person that they didn't want to know anything. And because this particular coworker and the manager are conjoined at the hip, the manager believed my coworker, never asked me what my point of view or side of the story was, and while I was at my retail job, I was completely blindsided by a text message informing me that I was fired for invading the personal life of a coworker. Well, you see, this is a problem. Well, first of all, they have no proof of my guilt. It's all word of mouth. All gossip. Second, I don't like that I'm being accused of being a backstabber, because I was on the receiving end of a lot of that for many different parts of my life. I know how it feels to be stabbed in the back, therefore it is something that I don't do to other people. And third, it does not make any sense to have me as a suspect, because I had zero motivation, and committing the crime would serve absolutely no personal gain to me. I knew the story. I knew my coworker's plans. I knew it was going to happen. And telling this one person that wasn't supposed to know about it, all it did was speed up what was going to happen anyway. So if I knew it was going to happen, what motivation or purpose could I possibly have to tell this person just to speed the process up? None. No motivation, no personal gain, no purpose. So what we have here is a business decision formed strictly on gossip. And I've made more than one attempt to meet with the manager in person because talking to someone's face is the respectable thing to do, and tell them my side of the story. And they just kept dodging it. They kept coming up with many different excuses not to. I patiently waited more than a week for a meeting to happen, and when they tried to push it down again, I persisted that it still happened on the planned day, and they lost their temper and just totally went off. They also accused me of disrespect because I wasn't respecting that they didn't want to carry through with the planned meeting, that they wanted to postpone it more. Problem with that is, I had already been shown an excessive amount of disrespect. You see, nobody is born with respect. Nobody is given respect. Respect is earned. And you earn it by showing other people the respect that you want them to show you. You know that old saying, respect your elders? Well, respect your producers or managers or whatever, is the same case. I will not simply respect somebody because they are older than me or they hold a higher position in a job than me. I respect those who respect me, regardless of age or position. I actually did respect my manager. Not because they were above me in position, but because they were a very hardworking person, very passionate about their dreams, and up until the whole gossip fiasco, I found them to be very understandable and open-minded. And when all this went down, that respect was just gone. I lost the respect I had for this manager, therefore I did not feel any desire to show them respect. And that's where we stand now. Now, however, although I never met with the manager, I did meet with a co-producer of the troupe, and I am very grateful to this person for sitting down with me and talking. So I'm giving credit where it is deserved, and it deserves right here. Someone that held some kind of authority in the troupe sat down and talked to me, and that I appreciate. But more things were brought to my attention during this meeting that bother me further. Another thing I didn't like is that I was sometimes pushy about performing. I was a kitten since December. I was perfectly fine with kittening for months and months, but it's gotten to a point where I have proven myself as a performer. Do I think I am above kittening entirely? No. In some situations, kittening is an honor. I am not saying that I will refuse to kitten any more shows, period, but I do feel like my primary purpose in a troupe should be performer and not kitten. Performer first, then kitten. Not the other way around. And in the troupe that I'm talking about, it was this way. I was a kitten to them above a performer. Another thing brought up was my DID. Apparently, one person for sure, but maybe more in the troupe, think that I am faking dissociative identity disorder for attention. No. No. Dissociative identity disorder is probably one of the most complex disorders to have. It's really difficult to explain. In my transition video, I opened up with the revelation of having the disorder because I wanted my fans to understand what brought me to the decision to transition. Based on this, I've made the decision to make a new video completely about DID before this year's end. In this one, I will touch a lot more about DID in general, and also further explain what's going on with me. I think that video will bring things into better light. And the last troublesome thing was they felt like I was putting too much effort into kittening. That with my extravagant costumes and strong presentation on stage, that it was too much for a kitten. And it was getting to a point to where me as the kitten was upstaging some of the performers. At least that's what they claim. I've never thought that, but you know what? Now that it's been brought to my attention, I'm going to embrace it. No, I'm not going to hold back. I'm going to continue giving everything my 100%, be it performing, kittening, or merchandise table. I was merchandise table for a burlesque show, and I gave it everything I got. You want to hear something very interesting that's relevant? The producer of Rocky Horror Burlesque Show had never watched me perform prior to casting me. She had only seen me kitten. But she noticed that while I was kittening, I had this presentation, this strut, and a very strong presence on stage. And in this, she saw potential in me as Dr. Frankenfurter. So she took a risk. She casted someone who she had never watched perform to be the iconic role in her show. And I pulled it off. I gave that my 100%, and I made her and myself very proud. Something I kept hearing over and over again is business decision. This is the decision that is best for business. The decision that's best for business is not always the right one. There is a very good example of what I'm talking about, and everyone in the burlesque community should be familiar with it. It is when the dancer Ruby Rage was fired from the club Lucky Pierre's because of her body weight. The coordinator and manager of the burlesque show, Miss Bella Blue, did not make the decision that was best for her and her business. The best business decision would have been to be like, sorry Ruby honey, it's been real, but sayonara, and just continue making money with her show in Lucky Pierre's. But she knew that wasn't ethical. She knew that was not the right thing to do, so instead she took a risk, protected Ruby and her rights, and pulled her show out of Lucky Pierre's, making them lose a very, very large amount of revenue. And now, the show is happening right next door, which is a really awesome middle finger. At the time when she pulled the show, she did not know that would happen. So Bella Blue made the decision that was ethical, that she knew was right. She did not put business first. So I really hope that this has taught you, my fans, a thing or two about gossip and respect. If you hear some gossip going around, make sure you get both sides of the story before you start making any decisions or taking any actions, especially if they're business related. And if you want to be respected, you need to show respect to other people. Treat others how you want to be treated. And most importantly, always do your best. Give your 100% in everything you do, because that is how you will be noticed and that is how you will succeed. Never, ever hold back out of fear of upstaging someone else. Don't go into it desiring to upstage anyone, but if it happens, it happens. I will continue moving forward with the other troops that I'm a member of, as well as independent bookings and future troops that I am bound to be recruited into. As for the troop that made the decision to fire me, I wish them the best. I wish them further success. However, I want them to know that if they ever decide to look into the situation regarding the gossip deeper, and they manage to find the real answers, and wish to apologize to me, I will accept their apology. I will return their apology with my own for the disrespect that I showed them in response to the disrespect that they showed me. And if they want me back at the troop, my answer will be yes. The ball is in their court. This has been Bad Girls Rant. Salute!
Bad to the bone. Bad to the bone. Bad